All right, y'all, we are back with another video, and it seems like Joe Biden is still in the news. It's funny how they trying to put all this stuff on Donald Trump. Donald Trump's a bad person. He's this, he's that. But then Biden has a lot of skeletons in his closet as well. So we're going to get ready and check this right here out. Like I said, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody that's been showing so much love. Everybody that's been leaving positive comments in the comment section. And I also want to thank everybody who clicked on this video for the very first time. I appreciate you as well. Like I said, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. But like I said, this is funny right here, that how Biden trying to talk about Trump, but acting like he ain't got skeletons in his closets. And Biden, why didn't you tell us about these leaked emails? We about to check that out. So let's go ahead and dive straight into this, y'all. Let's go.
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer is demanding that the National Archives turn over unredacted emails involving then Vice President Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Ukraine, and Burisma. The committees are asking for access to a case record called Email Messages to and or from Vice President Biden and Hunter Biden. They're also targeting specific emails where Biden used a pseudonym, a different name, Robert Peters, Robin Ware, and or J.R.B.
He used different names.
All of these are alias names, pseudonyms that Joe Biden apparently was using when dealing with business deals with Hunter Biden, allegedly, and his foreign partners. Joining me right now is John Ratcliffe. He is the former director of national intelligence and a Texas congressman. John, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being with me.
You bet. You bet. Always good to see you, Maria.
I want to first ask you about these alias names, these pseudonyms that Joe Biden was using. Why?
Well, I think you have to start with, Joe Biden's big lie here, which was from the beginning repeatedly saying, look, I never talked about business in Ukraine and Burisma with Hunter Biden. And we've seen evidence mounting that says just the opposite. You had whistleblower testimony to that effect. And then 2 weeks ago, Maria, you had actually testimony from Hunter Biden's own business partner saying that's simply not true. Joe Biden is lying. I was there for at least 20 phone calls, some of those with Burisma executives.
There's somebody who worked with Joe Biden that's saying this.
Joe Biden did have conversations about that. I think what's most significant about this, Maria, and why this is such a big deal is the person that is now saying Joe Biden was lying is Joe Biden. These are Joe Biden's own records, and as you just put, these are the official National Archives vice presidential records, and the title of one of the email attachments that Jamie Comer is looking for says, Vice President Biden's emails with Hunter Biden, to and from Hunter Biden regarding, Burisma and the Ukraine. I mean, if that's not a smoking gun, it's a bloody knife. I mean, it's the kind of evidence that Jamie Comer ought to be looking for, and that's why he wants it. And so, what makes it worse is what these official records reflect, Maria, is why, to your question, why use an alias? Well, a confidential human source that the FBI describes as highly credible says there are 10 million reasons why Joe Biden would do that, why he would use
trying to cover up,
an alias. Think about this, Maria. What that email says is that not Robert Peters, but Vice President Joe Biden in his official capacity as the vice president is going to have a phone call with the president of the Ukraine, and the only person that's copied on that is Hunter Biden, someone that doesn't work for the government. And then it just so happens that that phone call relates to a person that Joe Biden brags about is that he leveraged into firing the Ukrainian prosecutor into Burisma, which is the basis of what the confidential human source says the bribe was for in the first place.
Man.
I mean, if this were a movie, you wouldn't believe it, because it's it's so incredible.
Well, I think you make such an important point here, John, because Joe Biden has been saying now for years that he has no knowledge whatsoever of Hunter Biden's business deals, and yet there he is.
That's exactly
on
what he
an
said.
email with
Lying.
just Hunter Biden, and he's doing such an important phone call, and he's the point man for Ukraine. He's the point man for China and for the foreign policy in the Obama administration. And here you have all of these alias names. I mean, this is very suspicious, and yet the mainstream media will not report this. The lies have been going on since 2020 when those 51 intelligence agents signed their name to a letter suggesting that the Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. You were the truth teller. And it's amazing to me that the whole media landscape went with all these 51 intelligence people saying that it was Russian disinformation, when in fact you came on this program and you said it yourself that it was absolutely not Russian disinformation. And what was most important was that you were a sitting DNI. Let's run that soundbite from October 2020 when I spoke with you 3 years ago.
They own it. Let's go.
This is not part of some Russian disinformation campaign. The intelligence community has not been involved with Hunter Biden's laptop. Hunter Biden is a U.S. person, and he would be subject to any investigation regarding fraud or corruption would be rightfully the jurisdiction of the FBI. So the FBI has had possession of this.
So, John, I mean, this came up again with the subpoenas to the DOJ and the FBI from Jim Jordan. It's amazing to me that the mainstream media went wild with the 51 agents. They completely ignored a sitting DNI. You were the sitting director of national intelligence saying the complete opposite, but your name was not mentioned.
Right. Well, even worse than that, Maria, not only was I the sitting DNI, the official spokesperson for the intelligence community of the United States, saying exactly what you just heard there, but the DOJ and the FBI backed me up at the time. So my conversations privately with both Attorney General Bill Barr and with FBI Director Christopher Wray was around the fact that, look, this whole Hunter Biden laptop thing, we all know that the laptop is real. We know that the FBI, you have it, and that Adam Schiff and Democrats are trying to politicize intelligence that doesn't exist for political purposes. We all need to come out and say this, and I did that. And so why Jim Jordan is so exercised about this, and what Christopher Wray in particular is going to have to address is, why was he having conversations with me acknowledging the truth, and then agents for him at the FBI were secretly going out and saying just the opposite to social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook, and saying, hey, be on the lookout for Russian disinformation involving Hunter Biden. I mean, it's going to be hard to explain or to reconcile, those facts, and I think that's why Jim Comer why Jim Jordan is pressing this fact with these subpoenas.
Yeah, but John, let's face it, they don't care. I mean, they are focused on Donald Trump. I mean, you just mentioned 10 million reasons, right? And we know that
focus on Trump, and I ain't studying Joe Biden.
To $10 million that the Bidens took in from Ukraine, according to House Oversight Committee members and James Comer, that one of the Burisma guys said, the CEO of Burisma said, whoa, $5 million to one Biden, $5 million to another Biden. That's bribery. The charges here are bribery, and the mainstream media will not cover it. Instead, we're seeing the heat on former President Trump get hotter. The former president now must turn himself in by next Friday for an arraignment on 13 charges from the Georgia election investigation. His legal team is now requesting that the trial on January 6th should be held in April of 2026. Special counsel Jack Smith says he wants the trial to begin sooner rather than later. He wants a trial in January 2nd. So, John, how do you square this circle? The fact that you're hearing bribery charges against a sitting president, and yet the media and the Biden DOJ is zeroing in and ramping up the heat on former President Trump.
That's exactly what they're doing, bro.
Well, Maria, I don't think it's that they're ignoring it. I think it's that they're scared. Look, you have to keep in mind that they're all co-conspirators in this. They're all complicit in this. What I mean by that is all of this stuff wasn't. It was the fact that the mainstream media went with all of the things like the Hunter Biden laptop as Russian disinformation. They promoted the 51 intelligence officials that were lying. They promoted the Russia collusion story. All of these things, and folks at the Department of Justice and the FBI, they lied to get FISA warrants to spy on the Trump campaign. So they're all. They were all part of this, and they're all complicit in this, and there's so much at stake. And if it unravels, it's not just political folks that will take a fall on this. It's the American people will see it for what it is. Now, so having said that, these are the challenges that President Trump continues to face. With these charges and the trial dates that are coming up.
That right there is crazy, though. You see that? Like they say that everybody in the news, everybody is focused on Donald Trump. Ain't studying anything that Joe Biden has going on. This man is using aliases and stuff. You remember, he had said on an interview that he don't get in his son's business. He said he don't know anything about it. But come to find out, Joe is the ringleader. He knows everything about this. But what all the Biden's doing, they pushing all the heat on Donald Trump, somebody that's not even in office right now. And look at all this stuff that Joe Biden is doing and trying to get away with. And see, and that's the thing that they do when they do that, they trying to take the heat out them and just keep applying pressure to Donald Trump. Every time you turn around, this man got indicted again. What they say, like over 90-some charges. It's like, man, it's crazy. Why a lot of them ain't talking about this? Dealing with Joe Biden. And I mean, I really just don't get it, y'all. Like, because I mean, every time you turn around, Donald Trump did this, Donald Trump did that. He's indicted again. Or he charged with this in Georgia. He charged from this in this state. Before the end of it, they're going to have them charged in all 50 states. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. They're going to have them charged in every state. Let's just say that. But Joe Biden using aliases and stuff and then lying topic, he don't get in his son's business. He don't know anything about what Hunter do. But come to find out, like I said before, he's the ringleader of all of it. Even somebody that worked with him came out and said Joe Biden is lying. This guy worked with Joe Biden for 20 years. And he even saying he's lying. He know Joe Biden is lying. Man.
The thing that I would point out to people here is that Donald Trump didn't run for president to run for re-election as president to avoid political charges, as some people are saying. You got to remember, he announced he was a candidate first. He became the front runner first. Mm-hmm. All of these charges in Georgia, in New York, both Jack Smith cases, in the federal cases, they decided to bring charges after Donald Trump became the leading contender in the Republican nomination, which just really underscores why this all continues to be political and why it's all directed at trying to stop him.
See, that right there is crazy. Just like that, he was winning in the votes, and then all this stuff comes out. Like, this is unfair. This is crazy. I told you. Like when I said the other day, Obama is worried about it. I don't care what anybody say. Obama knows for a fact that Joe Biden ain't beating Trump. The only way they trying to get Joe Biden to win again is try to keep Trump from running. That's why, like I said, Trump trying to put it out to like next year. And they trying to get it to be, it can be next year, but they want it did in January. They want it for where this man won't be able to run for president. That's why they want Trump in court now. That's why they want Trump in jail now, because they don't want him to be able to run for president. So that's why Trump trying to push the date back, but they trying to get the date of the court like as soon as possible. So after this man start winning in the votes, and all of a sudden Georgia and everybody start coming out with these indictments and stuff, I'm like, I've been preaching this for the longest. That they don't want this man to win. They know this man is going to win if he run again. They know it. So it's, man. Oh, boy. From
being reelected.
Don't want him to be rereelected.
I don't think anybody could really answer the question of how this plays out. Trump is obviously far and away the leading contender for the GOP nomination, but the problems legally are getting worse. He's already got 4 indictments, and now we understand that Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays has announced she's investigating the former president over the 2020 election as well. This happening just days after Governor Katie Hobbs told reporters that the state should press charges against Trump.
Bruh, they really hate this man, bro. Everybody is coming out like this is, you know what?
So
this is crazy.
You may very well be hearing of a 5th indictment against Trump, and yet he keeps rising in the polls. How does this play out?
That's all they doing is just making his stock rise.
That's all they doing. Prosecutor perspective, John, how long do these trials take? In other words, is it even feasible that he could be on trial before the presidential election? Would that be fair, given the time that it would take for the discovery process to play out?
Well, absolutely not. I mean, so that's really underscored just by what's happened this week. Think about this: is President Trump has asked for the trial date in the January 6th, which is currently set in January of 2024. He's asked that it be moved to January or April of 2026, which is reasonable. The problem, of course, is he has an unfriendly judge. But think about this: is the argument that judge is going to have to take up is the fact that jury selection in that case is supposed to start on December 11th. Also on December 11th, however, is a pretrial hearing in the other case that Jack Smith filed down in Florida on the Mar-a-Lago classified documents thing. So you have Jack Smith created this issue. He filed 2 different cases in two different jurisdictions, and now the dates are running into each other. And now as you point out, you compound the fact that you have the New York case and the Georgia case. Look, this Arizona. The possibility of another case there. I'll just say from a legal perspective, it's an absolute joke. I mean, the premise of it is what they're calling a fake elector scheme. Well, whether you like it or not, it's an alternate elector scheme. It's a legal theory. And if there wasn't any ambiguity, Congress, a democratically controlled Congress, wouldn't have come in last year and modified the Electoral Count Act for the stated purpose of removing any ambiguities from the powers that the vice president had. So, people may not like it, but to take legal theories and try and turn them into criminal activities is just a joke across the board.
Yeah, and
yes,
crazy.
I mean, these cases like the RICO case in Georgia and these classified information cases involving the Classified Information Protection Act, these are cases that under the best circumstances take years to present. And yet you have prosecutors who launched them after Donald Trump is in the middle of a presidential campaign and now want to, get him to trial in 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months, which is it's absurdly ridiculous. And why at the end of the day, the Supreme Court will have to impose some sanity as these things go up.
Yeah, all of this as we see evidence of Biden family influence peddling with 20 shell companies set up and 176 suspicious activity reports from the banks on the Biden accounts. It's just stunning. John, it's always a pleasure to see you. I so appreciate your time this morning.
Wow. Shout out to them, man. Like I said, another great video by them, man. But like I said before, it is got out of hand to the point where everybody trying to come out. Like they said, as soon as he started winning in the polls, now everybody, all these states want to come out and start trying to indict the man to keep him from running. And then with this being trials, they wanted to be as quick as 2 to 3 months. That just go to show you they are scared. And they some leftists. You already know that they don't want Trump to run because they know if he run, he's going to beat Joe Biden. They know that. So why all of a sudden you just come out, while he's winning on the polls and then trying to do all of this? The man had got his. I mean, think about it. Trump done had a rough year. I mean, his house raided, the indictments. I mean, with the FBI raiding his house. I mean, this man had been through a lot in 2023. A lot. And what's going on is, think about how much people gonna praise him if Trump was to get out of all these indictments and stuff like that. That just, it ain't doing them, but just making him rise in the polls even more if they don't really realize that. That's exactly what's happened. But like I said, y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about it. That was just my take on it, you know. But you know, it's the world we live in, man. But like I said, I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all in my next one.